Hello there, my name's Nikki. I'm a Connected Kids tutor and trainer, founder of the Inner Space Project and known as the Mindful Nurse as a teacher of meditation to adults and children. I would really like to share an experience I had today which I found really profound and moving and relates to something that happened a long time ago in my past as a child. And I was bullied quite a lot as a child. From the earliest I remember is about 7 up until around the time I left school at 16 and went off to college. I just was bullied. I was an easy target because I was quiet and shy and had the attributes of the perfect victim, really. I was ginger and I was a bit overweight and yeah, just a bit weird, not conventional, so I was an easy target and I didn't fight back. So it made it very easy for me to be bullied. And there was one incident, well, it wasn't so much an incident as a period of time over a couple of years between the ages of around 14 and 16 that the bullying got particularly bad between a couple of boys and a girl that I used to have to go to certain lessons with every week, and we would have some of that time unsupervised, so it was a really good time for the bullying to take place. Anyway, I would be regularly spat at, my hair pulled, I'd be kicked, punched, called all the names you could think of, mimicked, and just it was miserable. Actually, it was a really miserable, horrific time, and there was nobody really that I could call on to help me. Sort of schools had a very different approach to managing bullying back in those days, I think, not so helpful and proactive as they are now. So I just had to take it, and it left big scars, emotional scars, as well as physical scars. And I've kind of carried that around with me for a long time, and over the years I've had different experiences in life. I've obviously grown up, and I meditate and I read, and I am very reflective as a person. I work a lot with children who are bullied or have issues around self-esteem and anxiety and all those kind of things that make it difficult to deal with life sometimes. And I'm mostly compassionate now, you know, in everything, and everything I do, I try to remember about compassion and about doing the right thing, and it's taking a step back, having a different perspective on things to look at how something is, rather than where the ego comes in, where that the whole it's not fair, you know, why should this be happening to me, which is a fundament of learning to deal with bullying and things, bad things that happen in our lives, but we can't let them dominate us, because then we can't move on and we can't let go, and otherwise we just hold on to that bitterness and we hold on to that darkness within us, and it's bad for us. It's not healthy to hold on to that hatred and that bitterness and that sadness, really. So I've done a lot of work over the years with that, as I said, and today I literally bumped into one of the boys and the men that bullied me at school, and I didn't know who he was. He kept calling me by my full name of Nicola, and I was thinking, why is he calling me Nicola, and how does he know my name? And at the end I sort of asked him, how, you know, why don't call me Nicola, I don't like being called Nicola, call me Nikki. And why are you calling me Nicola? How do you know me? And I was at school with you. And then he told me his name, and then my gut reaction was to clench, just, oh my God, you, oh no. And then I blurted out, without even thinking about it, oh, I really hated you at school. And then I saw him looking crushed. I could feel that. And he looked really hurt, and he looked really sad, and uh, I could feel how he felt about how he treated me. And in that moment, I realised that I'd had that compassion, and the compassion had overtaken that bitterness, and the bad experience had faded. You know, I still remember it. Obviously, that was my gut reaction, was to say, "Oh, I hated you at school," and I kind of meant it as a sort of off the cuff remark as well, because I can be quite flippant and dry, which not everybody gets. Sometimes I surprise myself. Yeah, so it was overtaken by compassion, and I just felt really sad. I felt his sadness, not my own. And I tried to kind of make it better, like joking, and sort of patted him on the arm, and thought I'd left on good terms. But over the day, it was kind of gnawing away at me, this feeling that I'd upset him, and that I needed to make it right somehow. And so what I did was to go back to him and just gave him a really big hug, and said, it's fine, you know, I'm over that now. I forgive you. You don't need to worry. You don't need to hold on to any of that. It's all water under the bridge now, and it's gone. And this person is someone, he and his friends really hurt me physically and emotionally, and I truly, truly forgive him and these other people for it too. And if I were to see them, then I would say the same to them. And I read this quote by Thich Nhat Hanh today, which is, "Only when compassion is born in your heart is it possible to forgive." And he said this in 2012 when he was leading meditation for people who were looking at ways of forgiving their parents for their wrongdoings, and described in the meditation how to look at parents as the child, and to see them, their child within them, as being as vulnerable and as fragile as yourself as a child, and then being able to forgive the qualities that caused you the pain, that caused you that discomfort, that caused you that suffering. And that's the thing, when I was speaking to this person today, how what came up for me when I could feel how hurt he was that teenager back then that needed the forgiveness, that it was the teenager within him that needed to be forgiven, and it was my teenager, if you like, forgiving him, and completely taken over by the compassion in my heart for him to just say, it's okay, it's fine. And it's work in progress. You know, there are other people in my life that have hurt me, and I'm not so ready to forgive, and I'm working on that. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm human, as we all are. But it's something that I just want to share with you today, and something to consider as a possibility for you to maybe find some forgiveness and compassion in your life for somebody that has hurt you. And that doesn't mean to say you'll have to be best friends with them, and that whatever they've done in the past is okay. I'm not saying that. It's about being at peace with yourself and at peace with them, and having that compassion to forgive yourself as well. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, and thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I'd love to hear your comments if you're able to leave them. Thank you. Bye.